Yo, what's up? Here we go. 171. Party time. Come on in, folks. Cheers. Yeah. Fallon in the house. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. And we're on. Wow. How's it going, everybody? I'm Cardone. Come on in. Beautiful red color. Ooh, I like it. My drink. I'm drinking Italian after dinner bitter soda. How are you, everybody? Come on in. I'm Cardone. This is Evening Hour, episode 171. It's live. It's chatty. I think my algorithm's weird because of some of the tags, because I should have more people in here right now. I should stop tagging. I'm not kidding you. Something's weird. I can tell when my algorithm's wacky. Yeah, something ain't right. I'll bet my notifications didn't spread as much. Well, if you are new to the show, please hit the like and subscribe. Hey, what's up? We got a good group in here already. I do this for a living, so if you donate, hey, that's cool. I'll take them. I do not turn them down. I praise them. If you don't have donations, that's fine. You can also spread the news. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, blah, blah, blah. It's very hard to grow these channels now. It's no longer YouTube, meaning you and me. It's now corporate tube. And Mama's in the house. What up, Mama? Charlemagne's in the house. Achilles, Malcolm, Ryan, Fallon, Larry. Yeah, we're good. If you're new, say hi. Say, hey, what's up? We're a good group. We like to chat. We are a fun group. We ask questions. We're fair. Tonight's a juicy subject. I'm going to try to say as much as I can and answer as many questions as I can. There's a lot to talk about. But first, who's in here? Let's say hi. Shout outs. I also want to do some movie reviews. Now, this bitter soda, the first time I had it, I hated it. It was too bitter. But if you let it sit in ice, it is so good for sipping. Okay. So, who else do we have in the house? Let me know if I sound okay. It's hard for me to tell. I don't have anybody helping me sometimes with these. Red colored drinks, tomato juice. Worcestershire sauce. Worcester sauce. It's so hard to say. Red dyes are usually bad for you, but because this is from Italy, it might be okay. Because in Europe, they're a little bit sensible on the food coloring they use. Anybody see any good movies? Well, the new trailer for Nosferatu is out, and it looks glorious. Eggers is the director. Out Christmas Day. Joker comes out this week. Joker 2 looks pretty good. I will be seeing that one. Next week is Terrifier 3, which I definitely am going to go to the night before opening night to see it. I will probably end up seeing that one a few times at the movie theater. I'm a major fan, as you know. And then I saw last week with my mama and my son, we went and saw The Substance. And I liked it a lot. It's the new Demi Moore movie. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen the trailer, I'm not gonna show it. Sometimes I show trailers. It's really cool. Anybody else see it? Um, it's there's a new genre of horror now called body horror, meaning horrific things happening to bodies is the feature. Even though murdering is also horrific things happening to bodies, body horror is more like things growing, things falling off, that kind of stuff. Well, this one might win the prize as like the primo body horror film. It's pretty cool. It's stylized. It didn't feel preachy in its message. There is a message of sorts intertwined, as you can guess. But it didn't feel preachy. Like it presented things as they were, and let you do the deciding. I think it's really good. So if I had to think about films lasting beyond their life, I would say this is one of them. Long Legs, yeah, I saw it. I do want to see it again. It's not my favorite, but I did like it. Busy October for movies. Yes, it is. Very much so. The summer was kind of slow, I would say. This is very busy. December, I don't know. What other big movies are there? Like franchise? Nothing, right? My voice is a little weak, so forgive me. That's why I asked how I sound. I'm trying to speak soft. I had a singing gig this weekend, and whenever we do shows, because we don't play every day, it's a little harsher on the system. So it's been very busy with magic. We have another Ramones show at the end of the month. Things are busy. Looks like the economy is crap, but for some reason, I'm slowly picking up business. Last year was Making a living freelance art style is not easy, especially in a bad economy, but my work relies on rich people. It does. So this is why I don't hate rich people. I can't believe there are people out there that hate rich people. I mean, they're the ones that pay for things. They're the ones that pay for services that we get to dream up. And so I dream up art and people pay for it. I can't even afford the art I'm dreaming up, okay? So so the rich guys usually, like, if the economy's bad, it takes a second to catch up. The magic trick video I sent you. Yeah, I mean, I can figure out any magic trick video in 1 second. People send me, no offense, but people send me videos all the time expecting me to be like, wow. And it's very rare I'm wowed. And if I am, it's only for 1 second. I personally don't watch magic. I do occasionally, of course, but I'm not the kind of guy that sits around watching magic videos. Magic is the thing I do for a living. It's my life's work. It's the thing I think about the most, but I'm not necessarily a hobbyist. I have a different way of seeing, Australian indie. Okay, The Demon Disorder. Pretty cool. Okay, I'll check it out. I still haven't seen, Hellhole. Another new, very John Carpenter inspired movie. It looks good. Hellhole. Anybody see it? But yeah, magic, I can figure it out pretty quick. And any magic that you're seeing on TV, even if it's done live, like in America's Got Talent, what you're seeing is not necessarily what the audience is seeing, and it doesn't mean it wasn't edited. And the other thing I don't like about a lot of magic I see on TV is that it's coached by the people producing the show. So even though they're contests, they're still shaped. And I don't like it. It's not my thing. It also stifles my creative process. I could try to sell weed to the cops and get away with it. Yeah, it was a magician doing magic with the vanishing weed. Um, yeah, that's a viral video. I've seen that one. That's a funny one. But yeah, what else before we get into the juicy subject of my show tonight? I'm a little weirded out right now that my did someone just tip me now? See, I can't tell. The graphic didn't go off. Oh yeah, it did. Thank you, Achilles. Party on Wayne. Thank you very much. I saw it go off and then it didn't. What else? Questions? What do you guys want to talk about before we get juicy? No, I think my algorithm's a little not good right now. I should have way more people in here. I don't like YouTube's policies anymore. I really don't. If there was there's Rumble. Maybe I should create a profile there in case this one gets canned, and then I can just jump there. I should have a backup video setup of some sort. I don't know what it would be, but I wish there was more platforms. The whole, there's only one platform that I can do this on right now is not good. I don't like it. Anywho, I should do an entire episode on blowing smoke rings. I'm going to write it down. An episode on smoke. Smoke episode. There's a breeze in here. I'm going to do one more. You're right. Yeah. If you swear within 30 seconds of your video, it drops you. If you say the S word, SUICIDE, it demonetizes you. There are words that you can't say anymore. I don't even know if you can say HATE without getting flagged. It's really bad. I think we should start the subject. I'm sorry, I'm picking my nose, sorry. I have a subject that I've been thinking about my whole life. Ever since I was a little child. And I'd like to start it with this.
Old world upbringing, superstitious. God, my family's superstitious. I remember once I got my first car. It was a 1984 Celica, Toyota Celica GT shit brown, right? As soon as I got it, my father hung a red horn from the rear view mirror of the car, right? Just a red horn dangling. I go, what are you doing? This looks like, he's like, it's for the Milwaukee, the eye. So nobody gives you the eye. I go, what eye? The fucking eye!
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Party on. Party on. I wish I had an automatic system for that. Yes, I will rewind 2 minutes. I basically said, most of you might have seen these and don't know what they are. I grew up in a family that they were definitely around. You might know this style, the horn. Yes, it appears. Very sorry. Yeah. The Malocchio is what it's called. And we're going to go over what the Malocchio is, what it entails, the ramifications of what it is, and I think you're going to like it. So you can hear me now, right? Cool? Yes? Hi? Wait, what the hell? Oh, look at this. Is this working? Okay. Yeah. We're working. Okay, good. Good. All right, I'm just checking. My computer's acting really weird right now. All right, there we go. Whew. The green eye of envy. Okay, here we go. Now we're talking. Some people know what we're getting at. Do we have any Italian Americans in the house? Do we have any Italians from Italy in the house? Do we have any Canadian Italians? I mean, really, it's funny because I always joke that the Italian American thing is its own subdivision of a group of Americans, that it's very unique. And my ancestors came later, like turn of the century, not 1700s. And so they showed up with their traditions and customs, and the Malocchio, which is, here's a book I found in Little Italy. This is part of the deal. Now, a lot of people think it's a pepper. It is a horn. Yeah, let's talk about it. How did I see it? Well, when I was little, I would see people wearing them around their neck, and I was told it keeps away the evil eye. So the word malocchio means bad eye, evil eye. Malocchio. My Nana gave me a really nice gold one when I was like in 10th grade. A really beautiful gold little malocchio. People call the whole thing malocchio, even though we're going to talk about that in a second. So I, like a fool, gave it to one of my girlfriends many years ago, and that was that. So I do not have my cornetta. What do they call it? There's different names for different ones. The corno is the horn. The corno. It's corno. That's corno, right? There's the mano corno, which is a little necklace with a hand. And this book has many photos of all the different styles of the charms that ward off evil. But when I was little, here you go, I would see these kind of charms, right? And then every now and then you'd see this one, the Gobetto, which is the hunchback. And this one's a combination. He's got the horn. His hand is doing the mano cornuta, right? And he has a horseshoe. So this guy will protect you from all angles, so they say. So the belief is how the whole thing works is pretty interesting, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. The psychology of it, the reality of it, and the ramifications of it all. If you don't know what I'm talking about on anything, please ask questions. It's a live show. And if I'm wrong on anything, say, hey, I heard something else, okay? That's what this is about. I'm just cracking open something, and we're going to explore it a bit. And I'll tell you what I know, and if you guys know something cool, throw it in. Goblinko, cheers, buddy. How are you? I don't know if you guys see that so much on the West Coast. All of this Malocchio stuff's very more East Coast, I would say, because of the Italian Americans. So the town I grew up in, Altoona, my mother's in the house too. She'll vouch for most of this. We grew up in a little town, my mother too, called Altoona, Pennsylvania, and very big population of Italian Americans and immigrants came over, poor, artisans, craftsmen, not like investor types. These are people that made things with their hands. They came over And they went to the towns where they had relatives. And the reason why they would go to Altoona is we had a bustling railroad industry. We also had coal mines. And Pittsburgh is steel capital, okay? So my family were either railroad or coal miners or farmers. It was all that. And they made everything with their hands, whether it be building things or clothing, farming. My mom will tell you, her grandparents, during the Depression, they were fine. They made their own food. They were like, all right, well, we know how to make everything. Really, they could live off the land. They knew what they were doing. So that's who they were. And they came with their customs and their traditions and very, very heavy-duty Catholics, okay? And yet, through all of it, you still get stuff like this mixed into Catholicism, meaning this has nothing to do with Jesus, God, Abraham, God dying for people's sins, none of the above. This is a whole nother realm of psychology, philosophy, and tradition that actually contradicts Catholicism, Christianity. This is paganism. This is voodoo. This is witch doctor. This is magic. And I will not use a K. I do not do that. They weren't connected to the mafia, were they? You're asking if my family was? No comment. So, hypocrites. The other people that do that is, I like the East Coast for that reason. Italian stubbornness is amazing. I love it. You know who else has a hypocritic religious take? Are the Japanese. And I know this because my kids are half Japanese. They have two conflicting popular religions, and most people do both. A lot of people in Japan celebrate Buddhism and Shintoism at the same time, even though it's the same kind of deal. It's to me, not only do people have a metaphysical need, they also have a polytheistic need. I can claim that most monotheists are polytheistic in too. Look at Catholicism. It completely embraces polytheism. It just has one boss dog, right? But there's still different things that you pray to, right? Okay, you here, Charlemagne just said something fascinating. He says, it's funny that you say that because I have heard a Catholic priest refer to the evil eye as a real thing. Okay, yes. Hungarian, Italian. Well, I mean, if we examine any culture, you're going to find this mix of old ways with new ways. The culture that's really snuffed it out the most, I would say, is the Islamic stuff. In the Bible, it says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." I think the Muslim religions take that one the most serious today. Meaning you could still get the death penalty for sorcery, witchcraft, etc., and magic. And, whatever they define it as, you can still get the death penalty, which is why I don't travel to certain places. So, the funny thing about the evil eye is when I just started really looking deeply at what it was, it's not what people think. I always thought when I was little, the evil eye was, if somebody did this to you, and they had hate, and they thought, I hope this person gets sick and die, then that's the evil eye. Meaning, a very specific, I am putting the evil eye on you because I don't like you. And believe it or not, that basically is maybe less than 1% of what it all is. Which is funny because I'm writing a book on that little tiny less than 1%. Because it does happen, and it is real. It is very real. And if you watch this show, you'll see its mechanics are not what you think. Especially if you're coming from a God point of view. I'm coming tonight. I'll say it now. If you watch my show, you know me very well. I'm coming at it from an atheist point of view and an agnostic point of view. Most people don't understand these terms. I'll explain it quick. I'm an atheist agnostic on my... Meaning, is there a God? How would I know? Maybe. It's so... Yeah, it's like asking what's on the outside of the universe. How would I know? Right? I can't say nothing. How would I know? I don't know. I don't know. Do you believe there's a God? No, I don't. That's how I define it. Is there a God? I don't know. Do you believe there's one? No, I don't. I don't think it's a... And if it's a conscious thing, it is so beyond our understanding that it's pointless to even contemplate it. So, oh, here we go. They will have that stuff. Hamas is the Middle East version of the evil eye. And well, I don't know about that. And blue eye from Turkey. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely different versions of the evil eye. I don't know what the Hamas thing is, though. Does that say Hamas? Yeah. Or no, what does that say? Hamza. I was like, it looks like Hamas. Hamza. Oh, okay. The blue eye thing from Turkey. Yes. Okay. Yeah, every culture has a version of this. I find it fascinating that it's the eyes that are the sender. I mean, the eyes are... What is that noise? They're a gateway to the soul, some people say. The eyes, you know. You can really tell what's going on with somebody by looking at their eyes. Oh, the hand with the eye. That's it. Hamza, I know this symbol. Yes, it's in the book, actually. But the thing is, what the evil eye I was told was, if somebody looks at you with jealousy, that's the evil eye. And how do you know you got it? Well, you're sick. That's it. If you go to Italy, that's what it is. If people get a stomach ache or they have a headache, grandma goes, oh my God, you have the evil eye. You need to get rid of it. You didn't stop it. Not you worked too much. You didn't drink enough water today. No, it seems to me it's an ancient where to put the problems kind of a trick. Okay? But the thing is, the causality of the illness is coming from a very weird place. And I wrote some notes on this. So here's an example of how I heard about the evil eye as a little kid, and it blew my mind. How many of you have seen a grandma when somebody goes, oh my gosh, let's say there's a little baby, and they go, oh, that baby's so cute. Oh my gosh, look how cute. And grandma goes, yeah, God bless her. The reason why they say it is because if you say, wow, that baby's cute, but in your mind, you're like, it's actually a little ugly, you just put a curse on the baby. And so grandma, in her sweet little way, will say, oh yeah, thank you, God bless her. The God bless her part cancels out the intent. Okay? What? That's the evil eye? Interesting. So it's coming from loved ones usually. Oh, we'll get to the placebo of bad luck. Because it's not a placebo if you know what you're doing. I'm writing a whole book on it. Yeah, okay. So, the other version of the evil eye is, let's say you just got a new car and you're driving it home and the neighbor's like, wow, that guy does not deserve that car. Boom, evil eye. If you're lucky to have one of these, supposedly it protects you. If you're not, you get the headache, you get sick, which is a weird thing to happen if someone's jealous of your car. Makes no sense. So as a little kid, I didn't understand it. Why would someone else's jealousy make you sick? Well, anybody ever read Anton LaVey's most famous essay? The Psychic Vampire. By far, I would say that's his most popular essay. I mean, something he wrote that it went beyond him. People know what it is. And to me, this is another early version of someone noticing psychic vampires, right? But again, it's a weird solution. Okay? Like, okay, so how do you cure it? Well, there's a trick, and my mom will tell you, in her family, when she was a little girl, they had an uncle who I never got to meet. I knew the Aunt Lucy. Aunt Lucy, her husband's name was Guy. Aunt Lucy's last name was Santa Maria. And it's funny because their name is so big. Like, when she died, I was impressed at their tombstone because it's like, oh, Santa Maria. Anyway, her husband, Guy Santa Maria, was the guy in the family that knew how to do the removal of the malocchio, which involves like olive oil in a bowl of water, and you drop the olive oil in the water, and if it disperses, it means something's wrong, like you're cursed. If it stays together, like in a little ball, you're okay. Well, I've seen some science on this, and it has to do with soap on the dishes. It also has to do with an optical illusion on how it looks. There's a lot of factors involved on that little action, which is, again, something you'll find in all cultures. It's called sympathetic magic. If I do this here, it'll affect something over here. From where I come from, by doing this here, it's just rewiring your brain and pumping different chemicals, which in essence will cause change. So these things do work without the spiritual stuff. There is a side to it. I don't like the word placebo because I think it's placebo meaning, if you take a sugar pill, it'll still cure your headache. Why? Because it's the power of belief. It's the power of having an expectation and things lining up that way, right? There's a lot of science on this now. God is a tool of control. I would disagree. I think we evolved to believe in another thing. And I don't think I think a way to write that is God can be used as a tool of control. Because people believed in deities before they even knew what control was. I mean, maybe, to control yourself, one of the concepts of where God came from as an evolutionary hardwire, and I really mean it. If you don't believe in God, you're the odd one out. Me too. I'm the odd one out. I don't believe in God. I'm not hardwired for it. My metaphysical needs different. But I do think we're hardwired, and there's a really good book on it called God Part of the Brain by Matthew Alper. I highly recommend it. You will love it. It explains the neuroscience to the God thing, where it is in our brain, and the why. And it has to do with our imagination saves us. It enables us to problem solve. It enables us to give reasons to things to satisfy certain desires. It's a great tool to control because if you can tap into it, water doesn't necessarily, oil doesn't mix with water, right? Yeah, exactly. God is a great tool. You can use that against somebody. Which is, again, what the book I've been writing for many years is about. So that's, to me, what God has become, because, well, this guy here is asking if he thinks Satan... So, all right, I'm literally writing a book on this. I actually think most people who are occultists, from the angle I'm coming from, haven't really sat and chewed on this one. This is why I wrote the book. I don't see many people talking about this kind of stuff, of what the reality actually is. And I'm saying this, I'll say it right now. This is the premise of a lot of my material. I swear to God, the subject tonight made my algorithm wacky. I thought tonight might be one of the busiest ones I had because of the algorithm. It's interesting. This episode will get more watches later. If somebody asks me if Reiki works, if astrology works, if God works, if this works, that works, this works, all metaphysical, supernatural stuff, my answer is this. Basically, no. But yes, if there's a wizard involved. Okay? And when I say a wizard, I mean somebody who understands some secrets of the universe that aren't necessarily supernatural. They're super and they're natural. And they're heightened senses. And because of that, when you add it all up, you are able to have other things happen. So, well, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Whatever tool is being used, whether it be tea leaf reading, tarot cards, your natural gift of talking the future, whatever it may be, if there's a wizard involved, we have a different thing happening. And I constantly use the movie The Wizard of Oz to make a point. And that is, how the hell is it possible for a carnival worker, a showman, to become the boss dog of a world where the whole planet actually has real magic and he doesn't, but he becomes the boss dog? How? Because he has a power greater than all of theirs, and that is, he understands a few concepts, meaning what people's desires are and their motives. And so that puts him in a top dog scenario. He also understands their mythology. So he's able to paint a picture in their minds and in reality that actually causes real change and chemical changes. The magic part is being able to do it without anybody seeing the methods. Just like a magician. If no one sees the methods and they get sick and die, well, then that's it. The curse worked. That's it. It is real. It just has to do with what angle you're getting at. Are you coming from this way or that way? So, on the idea of the Occhio, when I was a kid, I thought it was like there were witches and they went around putting the evil eye on people. And that's not what I was told. It's more like people live how they are, and because of their weird, bad, selfish behaviors, that causes other people to get sick. If I had to phrase it watered down, that's how I would phrase it, right? Would that make sense? Now, this Occhio stuff comes from southern Italy. And one of the guys in Italy said, leisure time causes it. Meaning, they have so much leisure time that when they get sick, if they were busy, they would just take a pill and keep moving. But because they're leisurely, they have time to sit around and dream of, like, who put this on me and what happened, which I thought was funny. Cause and effect. Well, yeah. Like, here's my idea of a curse. Someone's standing across the street, and you hold up a picture of something terrible, a photograph of a murdered person. That person across the street, if they see the photograph, you may not even know them. You can get all their chemicals to change in their body. You can get a dump of, like, crazy chemicals and adrenaline and cortisol and, right? You've just caused change in that person by them seeing a photo. You didn't have to hold it up. You could have just left it there and the same thing would have happened, right? Imagine being able to do that without them noticing the photo. So there you go. Yeah, that's what advertisers are studying. It's the same thing. How to make people move in directions how to direct their thoughts, how to conduct a show for their thoughts to dance on, right? Well, the people that are the framers of reality, to me, those are the wizards. That's a wizard role. That's my version of the wizard. So, it starts with an illness. So how about this? What if the whole concept of the evil eye is to teach people that it's not good to be jealous? And that's why it became a thing. That was one of the things I was thinking about earlier. It also, to me, the concept of Occhio, subliminal messages, exactly. The concept of God, I always thought was funny when I was a kid, because if he's all-knowing and all-seeing and all-powerful, there's a little bit of a problem. It means he already knew where things were going, and he made them go that way for a reason. If he's omniscient, he knows of what is to come too. And to me, this sounds a little bit like the model of no free will, meaning determinism, meaning things are as they are, and they're just kind of, each action that came before is just pushing forward. Okay? The concept of Occhio, or black magic, is what Anton LaVey always said was a do-it-yourself God kit. It lets you take the role a bit and take it away from the concept of God's will. Like, I can't even believe people pray to God. I mean, I thought he had a plan. Like, clearly he has a plan, and it happened the way it happened. So if you're praying, aren't you interrupting the plan? George Carlin has a whole skit on this. You're acting like you know better than the all-master creator of everything. You're a little bit more on the detail, right? So when you have these charms, it enables you to grab it by the harness a bit. It gives you a little control, or the feeling of control. Just like free will gives you the feeling of control of your choices. Oh, I could choose A, B, C, or D. Even though, and with some modern science, shows that we're hardwired to make one of those choices. We're compelled because of the actions that came before, because of what we had for breakfast, because of the color of the wallpaper. Everything, the billions of... This is why astrology never made sense to me. It's like, of course the stars influence you. So does the color of that pen, that guy's hairstyle, and the temperature in the room. Everything does. It's the biggest puzzle in the world. Catholic theologians on these issues. Well, I have. What's his name? Montague. I've definitely read. I mean, I grew up in a Catholic world. I grew up around priests. I heard what they said. I heard what my Sunday school teachers said. I heard what my families all said. They're coming from a point of view where there is like a soap opera going on in heaven. And, yeah. I mean, I'm curious what that means. Like, what have you heard that I haven't heard on some of these issues? I just think it's funny that it's an unintentional act. So if I felt like I had a stomach ache, like after hanging out with people, well, okay, that is real. I know people that I like them, but when I'm like around them, I have a good time, and I'm like, wow, I really like this person. I do. They're like a good friend. There's an insightful relationship. But then when I'm not around them, I kind of resent them. And if I would see them across the street, I might not be so like, hey, what's up? And so what is that? What does that mean? Why I thought I liked them. Thomas Aquinas. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He's the philosopher, the Catholic guy. Yeah, I haven't delved into the Catholic philosophers much. I mean, eventually I will. I'm just not interested from that point of view because I came from that point of view already. I'm trying to get other angles. So, the idea of hanging out with somebody, their psychic vampireness sucks some sort of essence out of you, out of your soul, so that when you go home, you feel a little weird. Well, what is that? Well, it usually means they're needy and they want certain elements of your personality that they just make you feel tired because. Oh, what's this say? Oh, not a second. Chat disconnected? Oh, that's weird. It says the chat was disconnected. Strega. Oh, which means witch in Italian. Strega Nonna is a book that's on Amazon, written by somebody about an Italian grandma who knew how to do the old world healing tricks, which is witchcraft. And when I was little, I don't remember my grandmas doing any kind of weird voodoo. They did go to church a lot. They did. God, what is going on? I swear to God, my algorithm's weird. Something's not right. Weird. It's driving me nuts. This is why I don't like YouTube. They don't tell anybody what their algorithms are because it favors the corporate end of it all. And if you do anything to go against the money part of the corporate end of it all, because they've created a little system, it shrinks you and boosts other videos. And so this is a joke. It's funny because in the last months, my numbers were really good, and now they're making people run through hamster wheels. Maybe I should put an evil eye on YouTube. Okay. I think that it's really funny. I thought I had another page of notes here. Superstition has nothing to do with intelligence. Yeah, a lot of people think that superstitious people are dumb. And it's like, again, it's not how it works. How do you think about sun gazing affects? Whoa, tell me about this. How would sun gazing affect free will? How would that trigger us to become our own cause? To me, the free will argument comes down to own causality. So when you have to make a choice, are you your own causality? And was there anything else that could have been a causality in that moment? That's the question. Yeah. Well, right. I mean, we have particles to us, right? Or at least it seems like that. And of course, the pull of the moon, the thing, everything affects us. If a judge is more likely to let you off the hook after lunch than before lunch, doesn't that mean something really serious? Right? Right there. That means something. That's a big deal. When I first realized that, like, oh yeah, they kind of proved that. This is where my free will started crumbling, because it's like our data processor is very limited to how much it can like absorb about what's going on. And again, this is why astrology always it kind of bugged me out, because it was like, of course the stars affect us, especially a baby in our placement in the universe. But wouldn't the temperature of the room have more effect? Or like my daughter, when she was born, Mr. Bean was playing on the TV. You know, I think that might have a really big effect. So, or what someone ate for breakfast the day before, or seriously, there are a million things. Now, when I realized the amount of variables involved, I realized why occultists, real occultists, go nuts. This is why most occultists I know aren't occultists. They're not. They identify with it. They dress like it. They wear jewelry. They act evil. They say things evil. They're trying to be occultists, but they don't actually understand what it actually means. And this is why real occultists go bonkers and live in caves. Okay? Because they realize how much detail is involved to get the things to do what you want them to do what they. There's a million little parts to the puzzle. And once you understand how much control, and when I say how much control you have, I'm still saying it. We're going to pretend free will's real, okay? We have to. Just like I pretend God's real most of the time because it's just a lot easier, even though I do not believe in a God or a deity. So, when I realized what a puzzle everything was that affected everything, I realized a few things. A, it's beyond most people's comprehension of how big things are, right? And B, I'm pretty good at observing things with the camera pulled back. It's what I do for a living. When I do a magic show, I always explain this. One of the parts to the magic show experience most people would never imagine is when I get to a job. So I have different venues I perform in. It could be a catering hall. It could be a fancy person's house. It could be a basketball court. It could be a baseball diamond. Wherever I'm doing magic, I got to get there and do the math on how to maximize on the space, the lighting, and I have to make it work. I also have to predict their reactions, how they're going to respond to magic, which could change depending on what culture they're from. So I have to quickly do some math on this puzzle, and then I do what I do, right? The things that I've rehearsed, the magic I've rehearsed, but all the while, my mind, it might look like I'm doing magic here. I'm going to make this ball disappear. But my mind's actually paying attention to a very large sequence. And I'm putting together what's happening in real time so I can guess what's happening in a few minutes in the future. And so, to me, this is why occult, meaning occult, the word occult, people don't even realize, the hidden, things that are hidden underneath the surface, hidden knowledge. The occult requires an insane amount of effort and work if you're going to utilize it for whatever reason. The real occult. Lord Lorcan, howdy, good evening. Cheers. Where's my drink? Okay, since I started sun gazing, this is Ryan, I've been getting better sleep. Well, that has nothing to do with free will, but that sounds, I can see that working. Anytime we make a change in our lives with a conviction behind it, it's going to cause something to happen. It has to. For the better or worse, whatever it may be. If you just decide to learn something, and I remember I don't sword swallow, but I have a friend who teaches it. And he's like, look, anybody can learn how to do it, but they have to really want to do it. Some people are natural, some people aren't. But if you really want to learn how to do it, you'll get a sword down your throat. It might take a long time. I tried learning. I'm very gaggy. I actually have a really terrible gag reflex. Oh. So wait, you stare at the sun. You're make sure you don't go blind. I know the early astronomers would stare at the sun because if you stare at it, I don't know if you can do it, but you can see sunspots. And so they would do that, but then they would lose their eyesight. Wow. So this is why the occult to me is not for everyone. It's a game that you're going to play with yourself subconsciously. And you're also, there's two parts to being an occultist. Are you known as an occultist, or is it a secret? Because they're very different and have two different ways of working. Free will. What about free will? It just says free will. Good sleep means more. Oh, good sleep means more energy to express your will, and being focused increases the chances of success. It still has nothing to do with free choice. Being able to express something is not free choice. Like, here's an example. This is something that took me a while to grab. Well, not a while, but we're hardwired not to see this. You don't choose what you like. There it is. Whatever you like, you don't choose. You just like it. I like leopard print. I didn't choose to like leopard print. I do. Why? When I was little, I used to see it, and I thought it was beautiful, exotic, flashy. I thought whenever I saw it on clothing, it popped out, right? But I didn't choose to like it. It's not like I could. To me, choosing means own causality. If you have something inside of you that you want to express freely, I use the word free, openly, let's use the word openly. It has nothing to do with you choosing to do that. Compelled is to me a better word. I like the word compelled, because free is a loose one. What is free even like? Like, what would it mean? How could I make this glass free? Or no, let's say a robot. Well, someone programmed it, so then it's not free. But even if the robot was able to delete the program and come up with a new program, I can't even wrap my head around it. There's no physics to make it work. Every action has an action that comes before it. Every one, everything, every molecule. And there's some of my older episodes, I go into it. I've had a more violent reaction to mentioning that there's no free will than mentioning there's no God. So, things that are an acquired taste are chosen. No, how are they? No, they're not chosen. Nothing's chosen. If it like, okay, here's an acquired taste. Well, first of all, I don't even know what acquired taste means, because I'm one of those dudes that can eat everything. But like, let's say sushi. For a Japanese guy, it's not an acquired taste. They're born with it. They eat it all the time. So a little kid is not. But in America, when I was little, if somebody ate sushi, it was like, ooh, that's an acquired taste, eating raw fish, right? Well, it's not a choice, because the person that's curious about it, did he choose to be curious about it? No. So he eats it. He kind of likes it. It didn't make him throw up. So he wants to eat it more because he's curious. Where's the free choice? These are all actions that had an action that caused the next action. Where's the blank slate, starting from scratch choice? I can't see it. There's a lot in these chats. Ooh, let me put glasses on for this one. What does this one say? Some music that I hated was forced. Okay, well, that's different. That's still not free choice. If you were forced to listen to it, that wasn't your choice. Yes, you can be brainwashed to like things that you hate. That's been proven. You can take somebody who loves bananas and make them not like bananas and like oranges. Again, that's not free choice. That's somebody else doing it to you. That's another thing coming at you. Same with like when people point at chaos. Well, that's, again, there's no, or random. That's not free choice either. None of these are free. Again, back to the word free. Own causality. Now, how do you become your own causality? Maybe through emptying, blank slating, meditation. you can get a little closer. Now, here's the funny thing. Friedrich Nietzsche did not believe in free will, but he did believe that we got to pick our drive that does the work. Or at least we can convince ourselves which one's the better one and eventually make decisions from that drive. But once you do that, you're back to the no free choice thing. It's just, yeah, you don't choose what you like. You don't love what you don't choose what you love. You don't choose whom you fall in love with. You don't choose who you think is cute. We use these words choose, choice. They even have a test where they showed, these science guys came up with some test where people were making decisions and they could see in the brain it happening way before the person's conscious of these decisions happening, which is again right there. If almost all of your brain power right now is mostly subconscious, and that whole we only use a part of our brain is not true. You use all of your brain all the time. Everybody does. It's that saying we only use 10% of our brain is it's not correct. It's wrong. What they're trying to say wrongly is most of your activity is subconscious and you have no control over any of that stuff. It's just running, and your data processor is hiding it because you don't need it. I mean, you do, but it's able to decide things for you without you even, like me blinking my eyes. Things in the room I don't have to notice. This is how magic works. This is how magicians work. We capitalize on the fact that your data processor can only follow a few things. And while you're following those, on the in-between bumps, there are blind spots. Lots of them. In this modern age, I really don't believe in free choice. However, through dream states, our outer body experiences, it may be... Again, it might seem like we're making free choices in those dream states, but it doesn't mean it's a free choice. Free choice does not make... To me, the whole concept of free choice is the same as heaven. It's like God, heaven, good, free choice. I put it right in there because in world of physics, it doesn't exist. It doesn't fit math or physics. It's supernatural. Free choice is supernatural. It's God. It's what Christianity is based on. God is omniscient. He's omniscient, omnipotent, right? And he is his own causality. That's why he's God. And he gave a little bit to the humans. And there's the free choice. So it's fantasy, it's heavenly, it's godly, free choice. That's, to me, I put it in that group. Now, to me, there are details to this on how to write it better. There are people that didn't like scotch but drank it until they did. That's an acquired taste. Okay, but again, they had another reason for okay, why did they want to like it? Is the first question. Because there's the no free choice. Right there. Why would you... Okay, let's examine this. This is great. You're using the word chose to drink it. Okay, I'm going to break this down and show you why there's no free choice here. First of all, the whole concept of whiskey, let's say there's whiskey right here. Okay, why would I even want to take... Oh, it's terrible. I'm going to drink this until I like it. Okay. Where's free choice? Where's the freedom in this? I don't understand. I still don't understand it. You have to explain it to me like I'm a 3-year-old. Where's there a, quote, own causality free choice? That person that's making all of those decisions, he might be that way because his father was a hard ass and taught him to behave like that. Or he taught him how to overcome his weaknesses by wanting to conquer. But that's not his... It didn't grow out of nowhere. It came from a role model, something he saw on television. His mood that day made him want to conquer his hatred for whiskey. But if you look at it and study it, there's no beginning to anything, as you know. Like, for instance, If you look at the beginning of a war, you go, it started right here. Well, no, it didn't. It started here because you did this and you stole that from me. Well, no, but you did that. You can keep looking at causalities that got to someone launching the first catapult. You can do that with everything in reality. You can fart in the bathroom and follow it till, if you had the right tools and quantum computers, you could follow your will to fart all the way back to the Big Bang if you had some of the right kind of computing. Actually, the reverse is not been proven, but the forward is on that math. It's called Laplace's demon. Look up Laplace, Laplace, Laplace's demon. It's another deterministic philosophy. Because I can drink it or don't. I choose to drink. Yeah, but why did you choose to drink? You're not listening here. Why did you choose to drink? You just out of nowhere, I'm going to drink. No. You were thirsty. That's your subconscious. You wanted to relax. There's always a reason. Nothing happens out of a spark of no air unless you're God. This is why I don't believe in free will. It's godly. There's no such thing. You are not your own causality in any. The weather, everything is affecting our decision making. So hold on. Let me see here. I chose. But you chose to be like him. Why did you choose to not be like him? I know people that chose not to be like them because it was a rebellious side. They felt a need to succeed this way. These choices, though, you have to understand, if you take the word choice out and put the word compelled, it makes a little more sense at what I'm saying. You are compelled to do these things. Because if you laid out all the different choices, okay, here's another example. Here's the hard philosophy. Go back to the moment where you chose to do something. Okay? The very moment in time. So let's say I go back to the minute where I decided to take this job, and because I took that job, it made me move to a new city. Okay? I'm going to read your comments in a second. This has become a free will debate. I think it's funny. Trust me, you're hardwired not to see what I'm saying. I'm not kidding you. I've done some deep looks onto this one. Our brains do a thing to hide everything I'm saying right now. Imagine going back in time to a moment where you made a choice. Could you have made a different choice in that moment? Add everything up to that moment, what you had for breakfast, what you were thinking, what you saw before, your state of mind, your emotional context, make the choice. Would it have been the same choice? I say no. How could it be? It's like a puzzle piece moving forward. It got to there. Now, here's why it gets creepy. I'm not just saying this as a belief. This is not a belief anymore. The philosophers that came up with these concepts thousands of years ago, the neuroscientists and the scientists now are stepping in and agreeing with it, which is the trippy part. Because, again, there's everybody watching that doesn't believe in the supernatural, if you believe in free will, I put that on that piece of paper. You choosing things as your own causality, to me, is the same as God. Hold on. Let's look. This is good. This is juicy. I love it. Free will out of existence. Nothing can cause itself. Well, kinda. Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Seems like, okay. Free will out of existence. Well, yeah, especially eating and drinking. Yeah. Deja vu, I think, is our brains passing out and rebooting really quickly. I'll talk about that. Changing your mind. No, that's a completely different subject. Mind changing. But if you want to change your mind, like let's say, I saw new evidence that's changing my mind. Well, that's again not my choice. Because I saw evidence that made sense. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Wow, Santa's not real. His beard's hanging. His wig fell off. Santa's not real. I'm changing my mind on Santa. That's not free choice. There's no choice to there. Deja vu. Ooh, read The Secret of Instant Healing. What's that? Oh, that's a book. So deja vu, meaning you walk in a room and you're like, I mean, I've been in here. I've lived this before. Everything in here makes sense. I've seen this. I've seen some really good explanations of it's our brains passing out and waking up really quick. And you don't close your eyes. It just goes. And when it does that, there's like a reboot that happens in 1 second. And you're like, wait, this is familiar. But it is familiar because it just happened. So that's an easy solution. But I mean, we all have, I've had deja vu happen many times. I'm sure everybody has to a certain degree. How can something cause itself by my standard? I don't know. This is why I don't believe in free will. The concept of things always existing, we didn't evolve to understand that. That's like, just like we didn't evolve to understand quantum physics. Why would we? It has nothing to do with staying alive. All of our data processors that we're using now to talk about this are all came from caveman, get to tomorrow. Now, we evolved to survive and thrive a little bit because we're humans. But mostly our data processor, our senses, our instincts, our sex drives, our drives for retaliatory effect. Someone punches me, I punch him back. Someone does something like steal, I have an emotional reaction. None of these are my choice. Now, the concept of being able to fix myself, which is what Lorcan's bringing up, like I don't want to be emotional, so I'm going to choose not to be. Well, it's still not a choice, because I know a lot of people that don't. Why am I choosing to fix it? Because I like that will to power better. Why do I like that will to power better? Again, you can see this. It's going to start going. I'm not making that up right now. This is because of things I've done in the past, my upbringing, my research, my nature, the weather, my meal I had. All of that comes to that moment of, I think I want to be better. I'm going to, quote, choose to make my life better. But it's not a free choice. Why do some people get their stuff together and others not? Well, if you look close, you can see the correlation. That's all. This does not mean that I don't think people should still be punished for bad deeds. Okay? That's what a lot of times people interpret the no free will people like. Oh, you can do whatever you want. No. Again, like God, we all evolved to believe in free choice, and most people believe in God, deities, or good. I put good with God. What is the best argument in favor of free will? The best argument is you feel it. That's it. You feel like you have it. Most people go, I feel it. I feel like I'm making choices. But if I showed you in your brain in a microscope doing all this stuff way before that you can't even see, you'd say otherwise. What would it take to change my mind on this? Excellent questions. These are what you call street epistemology. Well, one of the things that made me realize, that could maybe change my mind on it, was the concepts of free will being something obtainable but not given. Right? This is kind of what Nietzsche was getting at, where maybe there's a way to pick the drive and then it's back to being like on its own. But the whole idea of me being able to pick my drive, why can I do that? Oh, because now it's back to the no free will thing. It goes right. So, it would take some sort of, if you showed me, I don't know. My answer is I don't know. My mind could be but here's why it's going to be hard to show me that. Because now that I've seen how determinism works and its ramifications, it's explained to me how so many things work that I didn't know how they worked. Now I not only know how they work, I'm able to implement them. This is why I don't think my mind could be changed. Unless you could show me the mechanics of what I'm doing has something to do with free will. That's why. Interesting. Let's see. So the only thing that is real is the moment. Past choices. No. I never said past choices aren't real. No. So, the past is all you have. This moment isn't even real. I never would say that. I have an actual episode on this one. I don't believe in the moment. Well, it's already gone. See? Where's the moment? Oh, it's gone. It's a wave. It moves. The future ain't here. Present isn't. It's a moving thing. It's not a stationary thing. The past, however, is the one that we can examine to some capacity. We have some sort of like reflective nature to things as they just happened. And so, to me, this is one of the secrets to where the Strega, the witches, started finding their powers. And that is because everything's deterministic, you're able to put the puzzle together of where things are going. This is exactly what I do when I'm doing a magic show or my occultism. They're the same. And I get the same results. It doesn't matter. Booyah! Excellent. Does the language we use that is taught to us from birth also limit our notion of free will? Well, I would say that the language that we learn as a little kid, the words, this is why culture and language changes how you think, because they are different on how they see things. And I would say that's even more proof of no free will. There again, the words that we were taught when we were little. Tomorrow isn't real. It's something we will never see. What do you mean by that? That's interesting. Well, I mean, yeah, tomorrow, well, it's not here yet. And when it does come, it will be today. That's like when my kid was little, he would say, "Dad, is today tomorrow?" And I would be like, kinda. Yeah, time is not real. You know that. I mean, we use that word time, but I like time as the idea of it's because it's funny. Time is what's put into the equation for E equals MC squared. Like, again, we didn't evolve to understand these things because they don't have anything to do with us eating and getting laid, okay? They're very, like, esoteric compared to what's for dinner. And so, it doesn't mean we can't learn them, but it doesn't help us get a meal. Time is all in our head. Yeah. Can be if you want it to be. Well, that's kind of how I run my free will game, if you want to call it free will. And that is, I decided that, and I decided this at an early age, I have natural inclinations. We all do. Things I like, things I'm good at, and things I'm not good at. None of those are my choices. None. I'm naturally good at certain things. I was when I was little, and I'm terrible at other things, and I was born that way. And I've been able to maximize the goods and minimize the bads and learn to work with them. And I always thought the best thing to teach kids is listen to your heart as close as possible and try to weed out as much as you can and try to find just, here's your human creature. What are you naturally good at? And whatever that may be, make that, turn it up to 11. And in there, I feel free because I use the word feel, because I get to express myself however the hell I want. But if you put that under a microscope, I guarantee you it doesn't look as free as one would think. Because I am influenced by things. Dee Ramone, for example. Goblinko, this is the greatest patch. It's funny. Are you watching Goblinko? I bought a whole bunch of these off of you. Like a dozen maybe, or 10. And I intend on making more of these hats. I put these patches everywhere. But yeah, I mean, I have things that, you know, other people showed me. It's still not a free choice. They showed it to me and I naturally liked it. I would have never known it if somebody didn't show it to me. I've never randomly went to search something I didn't know about. Right? I've always went to search things I knew about or I wanted to know about. It just never was like, click, I'm going to go research beaver pelts from the state of Iowa. I mean, it could be. I saw one of the greatest no free will experiment. Here. This was a Sam Harris experiment. Somebody in there name a movie. Name any movie. It's a free choice. Name any movie. If you're a magician, I think you can see why, well, yeah. Magicians implement some of these things. Name any movie. Not Up in Smoke. Not Pineapple Express. But if you don't choose to feel how you want to feel, choice is a real bitch. Blade Runner. Okay. Now, was that a free choice? You said Blade Runner. Was that a free choice? You could have said any movie. All I said was name any movie. I didn't say name your favorite movie. I just said name any movie. So, all right, Breakfast Club. Again, was that a free choice? So, in Sam Harris's words, if we can't find free choice here, we have a big problem, because this is pretty basic. Think of how many movies you couldn't name because you didn't know about. So now you're down to here. Now, out of all the movies you do know about or have seen, well, there's only a few that might be at the top of the list. In that, there's your favorites. There's the one you saw yesterday. There's the one that's on the wall, the poster. Okay? And so, it popping into your head, the movie, it's not a choice. And you could be, well, maybe Breakfast Club, but I do like this movie. I'm going to go with Breakfast Club. There was still a compelled nature to why you went with that one. It just didn't spark, like, okay, so there you go. It was pre-programmed because you've been asked that question before. So there you go. You were given a free choice, but you went with the pre-programmed one. You didn't have to, but you did. So if we went back in time to that moment and I asked the same question, you know, you would get the same answer. This is not a good state. Now, this is also why we evolved not to notice this. Just like when I do magic tricks, there's certain things I do with physics that you can't see. All large motions hide a small motion. So if I gesture with my hand here, my pinky, it goes unnoticed. The idea of doing what we just did has no use. That's no use for you finding that meal. So we don't need to see that. Your subconscious gives it a different reason and gives it a purpose, changes what it is, and it feels much better. It's something that when I noticed it, not only did it make me go a little nutty, it made me shocked when I mentioned it to people. Because their reactions were even more shocking than when I, many, many years ago, went down the I don't believe in God hole. I was shocked at how people reacted to that. If you tell them you don't believe in God, they get violent. People don't realize atheists are the most discriminated group on earth because everybody hates atheists. Everybody. So to me, it goes in like a sequence. It goes atheism, good, free choice. They get worse reactions. Yeah, this is why I tell people when I was little, if I told people how I saw reality, I would get not only chastised, it was a violent reaction. Like, I want to hurt you. That hurts. Don't say that. And to me, free choice is a little, I've had people react like that. They're like, all right, I do have a free choice. And they got angry that I even would consider that they don't have a free choice. They took it as like an insult to their ego. I don't know. But when I saw it, again, whenever I see a reaction like that, that means something. That's very profound to me. Good was the first one that, God, I expected. Good, when I realized that that's kind of what I was thinking, because I didn't know how to call it. I always noticed when I was little that, Jaws, yeah. Well, Jaws takes place on, quote, Amity Island, right? Which is the mythological island literally right off my beach, right there. It's the Queens, New York City, Long Island beaches. That's what that movie is. And yes, we have great whites here. We have the only known great white breeding ground right off the coast here. It's pretty cool. And there were whales today in our ocean. Crazy stuff. Yeah, free will is something, it's not always fun to talk about because it's like, but I found the positive in it. And the positive is, with some adjustments of thought, you're able to see the future in a profound way. Well, without freedom of choice, you would feel like a slave of sorts. Yes, you'd feel a slave to your subconscious. Yes, exactly. That's exactly why we created fantasies and things around these, I don't want to say the word flaw, but the mechanics. It's just a mechanic. Well, our subconscious is crazy of how much it's dealing with. It's dealing with memories. It's dealing with how to react to things for safety reasons. And not only is it reacting like to safety reasons, like if a car's coming, it's doing that mentally. Like when things are coming in that are attacking your ego, it's also has techniques for avoiding those too, you know? So it's not my own free will to rebel against tyranny. I would say no, it's not. It's you're compelled to rebel against tyranny. Look at how many people are not compelled to. They're not. So why are they not compelled to? There's a reason. It's not out of nowhere. It could be their hardwire. It could be their environment eventually changed their hardwire. Whatever it is. Yes. Oh yeah, he's got it. Yeah, see? That's it. That's why I use the word compelled. It's so much better. This is why I don't use the word will to power anymore. I use the word expand. Sometimes words are loaded. And so I like the word compelled. Because here's the thing, and here's why people don't like determinism. Because they think it implies that you believe God is set it for like to go to a goal. And I don't think that at all. I don't think there's a goal. There's no goal here. Entropy of the universe means everything's getting looser and spreading out. And that's the degradation of your cells. This is why we're dying, not becoming babies. It's entropy, right? Well, I don't think capitalism. It's funny. Should we go into a capitalism debate? Capitalism to me just reflects the jungle. And it's not pretty. It's the quote, and I use the word quote, fair way to deal with the jungle. Because without capitalism, you have the jungle, right? If you get rid of governments, it's the jungle. Its might is right. And Whoever has the most guns in that situation quickly steps up to the plate. If you want to govern, you have a few choices here of how to go, but capitalism, although it does go, like things get big and then fall, it to me mirrors the jungle. That's all. I don't think it's good or bad. I just think it's the best mirror to the jungle that has a few rules put into its place. A few. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I mean, the other version of it, the flip, socialism, communism, Marxism, equity, meaning we all get the same somehow. That the dark side to that's bad, really bad. I would say that's worse. I'd rather the other. The other one, the capitalism, when it gets out of control, which it does, a few top dogs, it gets big and then falls, and it gets big and it falls. It's the ebb and flow. And so, oh, Mr. Lorcan, cheers. Where's my drink? Thank you. Dude, I love this kind of chat. I could do this for days. I don't claim to have answers, just thoughts that seem to make sense. That's all. That's it. Because I'm learning too. And believe me, some of these ideas have had profound effects on my life and in my arts and how I see things. They really have. That was funny. My drink just made a sound. Party on, Lorcan. Thank you very much for showing up to these. You add a lot to these. Seriously. Tyranny is painful. Well, yeah, tyranny is painful unless you're the tyrant. Or friends with the tyrant. Yeah, I mean, self-preservation is the highest law, which is funny because Nietzsche added to it. That's what Schopenhauer said. The will to survive is the highest law. And Nietzsche actually said, hold on. People will kill themselves to expand power. And so Nietzsche trumped it with will to power is the highest law, which I do believe is the highest law. It's the whole plot of Conan the Barbarian. If you watch the movie Conan the Barbarian, it's teaching you what will to power means. It starts off with the secret of steel. That doesn't work. Then it's the flesh, the will, meaning the power to be the one doing the action, right? Like skin, flesh, human, real. This is the power. This is the bad guy, Thulsa Doom. May his soul rest. And then at the end, Conan shows up and says, no, it's not necessarily the steel or the flesh. It's the will to succeed, to go above and beyond, to take a risk. And to me, that's the top dog. Those who dare to go a little more, This is Ubermensch. This is Superman. This is what Nietzsche thought was the next layer of humanity. Those who go to 11. And those who go to 11 step on toes. You can't go to 11 unless you step on someone's toes. It's not possible. It's all will to power. If you have a peaceful movement, you will step on toes. You'll step on the toes of the people you don't like, so you won't notice it. But you're still stepping on toes. What power will I have if I kill myself? I would say in the absurdist philosophy, if you kill yourself, especially if it's if someone's in physical pain and can't take it, they're ending the pain. That's different. But if someone's killing themselves because they don't like the fact that there's no point to anything, which I would say that's true, then you're just adding to the absurd nature to the whole thing. You're not really... Whereas you could not do that and make an absurd nature of no point to anything. You can give it any point you want. And that's pretty cool. So that's how I always thought of that. Yeah. Oh, I made a show. I know. Miss a lot. I don't know what that means. Unless I'm Braveheart. I have to say, I haven't seen Braveheart in years, but I do remember the end when they executed him was pretty nasty. Yeah. Yeah, but Braveheart, if I remember, he was a risk taker. William Wallace. Yeah, all right. This was a fun episode. Holy crap. We went down a free will hole. I love it. I love free will holes. They make me really try to pull it up. Listen, I want free will to exist, so I pretend it's real. I don't think it is, but I will pretend it. And for me to work some of my magic, I have to know that everybody believes in free will and gods of some sort. When I say gods of some sort, I mean astrology, mythology, something. They have some sort of metaphysical something. And if they're atheists, they usually believe in good. And so I put that all together, and that's how I approach things. And it's not easy. Oh, you like free will holes too? Yeah, they're fun. A lot of people hate them. I'll tell you, only a person who risks is free. No, why would they be free? They're compelled to be wild. I'm compelled to be wild. I don't feel like I'm choosing to be wild today. That's not it. It just is what it is. It's all compelled nature. Only a person who takes, I would put compelled people take risks. They're compelled for some reason. It's a will to power. It makes them feel like they're expanding something, whether it be themselves or their arts or their message, whatever it is. The increasement of power. People liking a photo you posted, that's a will to power. You know what made me understand will to power? Carrots. A carrot has a will to power. When it's growing, it's like, I gotta grow. I gotta go down deep. The green's gotta go up to get the sun to work. And the plant that does better, there's a reason. I mean, it's able to it might be lucky, it got in a spot with there's sun, and it gets to a certain point, and when it gets almost to its max potential of growth and its will to power is moving in a direction, I yank it out and eat it. My will to power is greater than that one's at that moment. That's it. That's going on in your molecules, your hair, the moon, the sun, the universe, that concept. Things are expanding. If they're not, they're contracting. There's no stasis. I mean, things are, right? I mean, we're moving away from the sun at the center of the universe at millions of miles an hour. There's no stasis. And to me, that's why free will is weird, because it's kind of like there's nothing influencing me right now. I am a machine from God that has free will. Nothing influences. I pick a red M&M. Clean slate. Could have been red or green. I pick red. Well, to me, when put under a microscope, that little thing that just happened looks weird. And I like to examine it. So I get to use these techniques in my work. So the things I'm learning from this, you know? Wow, did you guys have fun tonight? That was a hard one for me. There was a lot of thoughts. I feel like I missed some stuff on the Occhio. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Why do I bother with all these charms? They remind me of my grandparents, whom I loved very much and still do. They're a connection to my childhood, the Italian clubs we grew up in, our holiday parties, our tribe that we had, that kind of stuff. That's all. I don't need talismans to protect me. I might wear them and act like that's what they're for, but personally, I'd still treat them as a reality because they are real. This does have influence. This can make chemicals change in people, depending on who's holding it. Having fun being scared the shit out of because I have no free will. What a rush. Well, there's also a comfort to it. You could go, huh. So, here's what I highly recommend. It's your free will to tune in. Look up the Friedrich Nietzsche essay, and I've read it on this show. It's called The Heaviest Burden. It's his essay on eternal reoccurrence, which is a concept that when you die, you just repeat your life over and over again. It's a thought experiment. You can pretend it's real if you want, but I highly recommend it. It's in the book Beyond Good and Evil, but if you look it up, you'll see it right away. It's Friedrich Nietzsche, The Heaviest Burden, and you'll see the essay. It's excellent. And on that note, I'm out of here. I am going to eat, and I don't know, I'm going to go to the beach maybe. It's like really nice out. Thank you very much for coming in here. Please hit the like and subscribe. Hit the notify. If you donate, thank you, Achilles. That's awesome too. I just want to say, if anybody knows of other platforms, let me know. I'd like to do 2 just in case one goes. You never know. You know, we're reliant on these things, and fickle is a word. I mean, this can all go in a second. There are people that get 3 strikes in one day and their channel's out. So, yeah. So, at any rate, thank you very much for tuning in. It means a lot to me. I don't know if I'm here next week. I might be, but I might not be because I'm starting to get busy. So, tune in. I'm going to take us out with the outro. And, yeah, party on, Wayne. Thank you very much. If anybody feels like they need Occhio charms, there's only 9 stores in the world that sell them. 2 of them are in New York City, in Little Italy and in the Bronx, Little Italy. So check it out. Party on. Oh, hold on. What happened?